studio audience. Usually they bring Well, we're on the eve of the NWAC Baseball Championship, and it's time to talk some baseball as the top 8 teams in the NWAC are here to duke it out for the next few days and see who comes up with the championship. Good evening, everybody. I'm Kirk Rowland. I'm the tournament director and athletic director here at Lower Columbia College. We're in the beautiful weather climes of Longview, Washington. And this week, we have pretty much had weather forecasts all over the board. As it is right now, the weather's going to be pretty good. But whether it's raining or dry, there's going to be baseball, and we're going to have a great time. In the next few minutes, we're going to talk with some of the coaches that'll be competing this week and with some of the players as well. So batting leadoff this year is the new guy, the new head coach of the Yakima Valley Yaks, Kyle Crustangel. Kyle, welcome to Longview.
Yeah, thanks for having me here. Excited to be here.
All right. Well, hey, in your first year, the Yaks win the East over there, and you've got to be awfully excited about what you guys were able to do.
Yeah, no, it's very exciting. You know, obviously, as the new guy, you know, Marcus had a good thing going and really inherited a good sophomore class. It was definitely the leaders for us on the field. And, you know, very tough. The East Conference is always extremely tough. And, you know, for us, you know, getting off to a 10-0 start was definitely a great start for our guys. And, you know, for us, it's a lot of bumps in the road along the way. And guys really stuck to the course and bought in from day one. And obviously, we're excited to be here.
All right. Well, you're a Whitworth guy, true blue. And how much were you aware of the NWAC and what it's all about? Yeah,
so in 2006 I played for Big Bend, so I experienced NWAC as a player, but transition from Division III to NWAC was completely different. The biggest difference is, you know, for us in the fall and winter for Whitworth, you know, we had 12 practices, you know, so not a lot of time to be with our guys, and obviously here at the community college, you know, we get you know, 6 weeks in the fall and all the work during the winter, which obviously we love as coaches. Again, at Whitworth, you know, it seems like we never got to see our players until January.
Yeah, well, hey, speaking of players, you've got a lot of good ones here this year, and I see you have a .274 team batting average and a team ERA of 2.96. So obviously the numbers talk about what it takes to win ball games and win that tough East Division.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I think going into the year, our biggest question mark was on the mound, and obviously pitchers have been nothing but solid all the way through, and you know, definitely some sophomores leading us kind of 1 and 2 on the mound, and a couple freshman relievers that had great years, and offense, you know, it was off to a slow start, but definitely came around, especially through league, and like I said, those sophomores that excelled and got experience as freshmen is a huge reason of why we're here now, because again, we had 7 freshman starters from last year that are now sophomores.
All right, well, you played at Big Bend. I don't know if your team made it to the NWAC
no, we didn't.
tournament or not. Okay, but have you been around this tournament scouting at all, or is this your first trip into Story Field?
First time. I've been to Story Field, but first time here at the NWAC tournament, so nothing better to be here as a coach with our guys. But no, I've not seen the NWAC tournament in person before.
Well, I'll probably ask the teams that are the division champs that got the time off, hey, is it going to be good for you guys, or are you guys itching to get back out there?
Yeah, no, our guys are ready to go. I'm sure, as the other 7 coaches will say too, everyone's guys just want to play. But, you know, we had some time off, got a chance to scrimmage, and, you know, people asked me before, obviously, which route would you rather go in? And, you know, it's obviously to know that you're in and not have to play in the regionals, obviously, is a huge advantage. But, yeah, you know, 11 days off, and, you know, it was good for us to get some rest in. Had guys that were banged up, so it was good to have a few extra days off in there and prepare for here.
All right. Well, of the teams that are in the tournament, what do you think? I'll probably ask all the coaches, and they'll probably try to dodge it, but what do you think? Who do you think's the favorite going in? And I know you've played some of the teams. So.
Yeah, you know, obviously this time of the year, there's us and 7 other schools that could all win the NWAC. You know, there's not necessarily 1 and not necessarily 2. I think there's, you know, 8 quality clubs that are here that have gone through the grind, you know, gone through tough conference play, gone through their region, and you got 8 teams here that are excited to play some baseball, and you know, there's definitely 8 quality clubs that are here.
Well, Kyle, this trophy right here is goes to the champion, and it says Bill Fowler Award. So you know all about the history at Yakima Valley, don't you?
Yeah, no, Bill's a huge supporter. He's 92 now, just had his 92nd birthday, and he's at virtually every single home game. Definitely a very special guy, and he's been great for me transitioning into my staff. An unbelievable guy, not just obviously as a coach, but as a person. And he'd be laughing here to have his name. Our field got renamed after that, and he doesn't want any of the glory, but obviously he's well deserving. But yeah, he's been great for us. A lot of history. All our history has gone through Bill Fowler, and definitely set that rich tradition up.
Well, Dave Andrews with me here today, and he's going to be talking about a pretty special player of yours. First, before we put it over to Dave, talk a little bit about Connor Anderson.
Yeah, Connor, great kid. Obviously great numbers on the field, but even a great character off the field. Carries a great GPA. A lot of schools saw him not just for baseball, also for academics. But had a great year. Huge middle of our order. I think he batted 4-hole every single game. Had an outstanding freshman year, even a better sophomore year. Won air defensively, 997. Was Gold Glover this year. First teamer as well. Quality individual, but again, obviously in the meat of our order, and drove in a lot of runs for us. And as a huge reason of why we're here is through Connor's bat, as well as defense.
Kyle, welcome to Longview, man.
Awesome.
Appreciate you coming.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, let's meet Connor Anderson. Dave Andrews got him.
All right, thanks, Kurt. Connor, a sophomore out of Five High School, a sophomore here in the Yakima program. What coach kind of putting on you there? Can you live up to that here in the tournament?
I'll try my hardest to perform well and play well this weekend.
Well, Connor, you come in, and they talked about you at the plate, 342 average, led the team in hits, 55, 36 ribs, 3 home runs. I know that comes against great competition. Just comment to our viewers what you see when you go through that East Division.
Every team out there has at least 3 or 4 quality arms and they can come out of the bullpen. They got good arms. And you're always going to see good pitching, so you always have to be locked in and focused. And my freshman year, I had a lot of opportunities to score runs, and I didn't come through. So in the off season, I really made that part of my focus and program, and it paid off this season.
Off camera, you and I talked that the Yaks were not in this tournament last year. You're here this year. Just talk about the grind to get here this year. What got you here this year?
I think the experience of all of the sophomores, like Coach said, that we had a lot of freshmen last year that started, and our lack of experience really showed in late game situations last year, which is why we ended up losing a lot of games and didn't make it. This year we were almost the opposite. We could close out the end of the game, and we had a good bullpen and a lot of clutch hits from a lot of different players, and that's the reason that we could win so many more games.
All right, Connor. Well, for you and the Yaks, welcome back to Longview. You've been the history's there with Yakima baseball. Many trips, not only here but to the NWAC tournament, and looking forward to seeing you on Story Field tomorrow. Good luck.
Thanks.
All right, Connor Anderson, the Yakima Valley Yaks, and now we'll head back over to Kirk Rowland, who's with Aaron Sutton, the head coach of Treasure Valley.
All right, let's stay in the East, if we will. TV, they got to host one of the regionals. The super regionals have been put in the NWAC the last couple of years. And Aaron, it's always nice if you got to go to a playoff, it's nice to be able to have it on your home field, isn't it?
Yeah, I always think that's a big advantage for us playing over in Ontario, Oregon. And, we take a lot of pride in winning games there at our place. And guys got it done at home in front of a great crowd, tons of support in the community, and I'm really happy for our guys to be here.
Yeah, outstanding. Well, what's making the Chuckers run this year? What's the strength as we're going to see you here for the first time?
It's been a lot of everything this year. I think we've had a lot of downfalls and good times and bad times, just like anybody this season. These guys have really been resilient this year. They faced a lot of adversity. They're battle tested. We played a lot of good teams, and going through the East is always a tough route. So I think we're playing our best baseball this season, like any coach would like to have it. Well,
Aaron, I know you're happy that this is starting to become a regular deal for you guys, getting over here and making the trip to Longview in the NWAC tournament. What are some of the logistics that you guys have to do? This had to be pretty tough on a turnaround for you to have to host a tournament like that and then in 2 or 3 days on a bus for another long trip.
Yeah, we're road warriors. I think our closest league game is 3.5 hours away. So a 7-hour trip up here to Longview. We do that in league play. So we're used to it. The guys are used to it. It's just another trip for us.
All right, well, what's your pitching plans as you get ready to go for the opener tomorrow?
We haven't decided yet, but we've got 2 pretty good arms at the front end of our rotation, and whoever gets the ball I know is going to go out there and compete and give us a chance to win.
All right. we'll probably be getting a lot of that here today. Haven't made the decisions yet. I know how coaches are, especially when they're in a room together. Want to keep those things all going. But just looking at the field, you obviously know about your league opponent, Yakima Valley, but you got some common opponents that you've had some games with this year, and you're looking forward to seeing?
Yeah, we played Chemeketa as well, 4-game set, and then also Bellevue for 4-game set. So we've seen a lot of familiar faces here, and it's anybody's ball game. You get 8 teams in a double elimination tournament. You got to have some things go your way, and you got to play good baseball, and we're excited to get out there.
All right. Well, I look at your roster here, and you've got a lot of guys that are hitting the ball and doing a great job, and one guy that really has had a huge year has to be Chase Treter. I mean, talk a little bit about him.
Yeah, Chase has been an outstanding leader for this group. Had a great year as a freshman, and coming back as a sophomore, we really leaned on him for some leadership. And that's probably his best asset, is just his leadership. Obviously, he's getting it done on the field, but just showing these young guys, the road to success, being a good person, being a good student. And, the numbers speak for themselves. He's Player of the Year this year in our region, and well-deserved.
Yeah, 67 base hits. Guys living on base for sure. Who are some of the other chuckers that we're going to be seeing here and are going to be key for you?
Kate Hall, he's our catcher right now. He's kind of our guy that makes us go, hits in our leadoff spot, and just another quality individual. Comes from the same hometown as Chase does, so they played against each other, opposite high schools, but really good friends, and 2 guys that we really lean on heavily.
All right, well, we appreciate you being here again, Aaron. Thank you, and great season. We were talking about Chase Treter. Why don't we head on over and meet the young man. Dave?
All right, Kirk, and you are riding with Chase here today, and not only 67 base hits for Chase, but a NWAC leading 67 base hits, so congratulations on that. But Chase, yeah, like you said, a veteran. Just talk about the feeling of getting back in this tournament, maybe a little unfinished business.
Oh, yeah. I mean, anytime you could play past, regular season, it's an honor and a privilege, and we're really excited to be here, and I think everyone's, chomping at the bit to get out there, and get back on the field, so we're excited.
Well, obviously, Treasure Valley on the border of Idaho, and you from Pocatello. How'd you find your way to Treasure Valley from Pocatello, Idaho?
I believe it was from the Treasure Valley camp that's down in Sandlot. It's in Pocatello, so I make it out there every year, every winter, and I think that's when it all started. And I just kind of fell in love with the program and the work ethic and everything that's about. So I felt like it was a good fit for me. So I decided to become a chucker.
What was your memories of this tournament last year here at Story Field?
A lot of good competition, and it was just we all had a great time, and we competed our butts off, and it was really close matchups, and a lot of good teams here. So we're excited to square off against another team, and so we're excited to be here.
And just finally, you won your own region last week to get here. And while going the regional route maybe isn't the preferred route, it had to be nice making teams like Clark and Tacoma make the long road trip, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, we love playing at home, and so. I mean, it's always exciting when you get to play against, in front of your home crowd. So that's always nice. And, I think we're feeling pretty good about ourselves. I mean, a lot of teams would like to take, the few weeks off. But, I mean, I think it was good for us that we got to, keep playing ball. And, we're starting to play our better ball at the end of the year. So, we like our chances in this thing.
All right. It's a guy, he can rake, and we'll expect to see a lot of that here at Storyfield. Chase, congratulations, and have a great tournament. All right, Chase Treter of Treasure Valley. Now back over to Kirk with Coach Pratt.
All right, thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. Well, we've gone through the East now, a chance to head on down south out of the South Division of the NWAC. We've got the head coach of the Chemeketa store, Nathan Pratt, with us. And Nate, great to have you here. Congratulations on a great year. Let's talk about how much fun you had with your bunch this year.
Well, been an exciting group. They like to win a lot of close games, so. My wife's commented more than once on the gray hairs, but it also is exciting, and they're just a really relentless bunch. Been enjoyable to coach.
Well, speaking of exciting, take us through the shot heard round the world, or at least down to Salem down there, the incredible home run that got you guys here.
Yeah, well, one thing, being a part of the NWAC a lot is, for almost 14 years now, is there's always seems to be an unsung hero. And, for us up at Skagit Regional was Hunter Gates, who we almost pinch hit for him, but he's just a guy that is had a lot of competitive at-bats and not had great numbers. He's enlisted in the Navy. This is his last, that could have been his last baseball at-bat of his career, and he ended up hitting a big home run to win the game. So it was an exciting moment, one that I'm sure our guys won't forget.
Boy, I guess so. How do we have a big pig pile on that? How'd that work? Did anybody get hurt on that?
Well, it's one of those as a coach where you say, act like you've been there before, but apparently a few of our guys hadn't because they were running towards second base. They didn't realize we had to score before we could dogpile. So, yeah, but it was a big dogpile and just, an exciting moment.
All right. Well, give us a characterization of the Storm. What we're going to see out of your team, what style you like to go with.
I think we were able to play a lot of different styles. It's a different guy every day. It's a relentless bunch that has. We've lost our number one arm, our starting shortstop, and just the next guy is ready to go. And they think they're really good, and they know they can play. And if we play the game we know we can play. We know we can play with anyone.
All right. And what are your pitching plans?
We're going to start Chris Jackson. He had a great outing up there in Skagit and shut out Walla Walla 1-0, and just he's been throwing really well for us. So I don't think it's any secret he's been our best guy, and I expect another good outing from him tomorrow.
All right. Well, you've seen some of the teams in the field. Try to handicap it for us a little bit. What do you think we're going to see?
Well, it always comes down to not always who has the best players, but who has the best team for the next 5 days. And that's what makes it hard to predict, is because everyone here has the capability of doing it. It's just who can bring it together and have the best team for a 5-day stretch.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know you've had a few NWAC appearances. You pointed that out to me right there. What was it? What was the last one? There it is, 94. I think you're ready to get a little nameplate on there.
Yeah, we'd like to add another one for Chemeketa on there, and I'm fortunate to be a part of a couple of those up there, not with Chemeketa. I won't say the team, but I'd like to get another one.
The other Oregon school down there,
yes.
Yeah, for sure. Well, some of the you've talked about your hero. We're going to meet Ethan Bragg in just a second here, but talk about some of the top players we're going to get to know here in the next few days.
Yeah, with Ethan, he's kind of one of our emotional leaders, just a great run creator. A lot of things you won't see in the stat line with him is how he creates runs for us in a lot of different ways. And we have a lot of guys like that their stats, you look at the numbers and you don't say, well, this guy's got 40 RBIs, or this guy. It's just different guys that consistently produce quality at bats. And we got a great catching core with Hunter, who hit the home run, and also our number one guy, Jace Duty. He's really commanded the pitching staff and has been offensive the second half of the year. And then probably the guy that carried us the most in the regional was Tommy Ahlstrom, our second baseman / first baseman / third baseman / utility man.
Yeah, I guess
who
so.
can hit. And so he's been coming along in the last part of the season as well. So
Show me a guy who can hit, and we'll put him somewhere, right?
Find somewhere to go.
We'll get him for sure. Well, Nate, congratulations on a great year, and great to have you in Longview. Thank you for your time.
Thanks,
Appreciate it. All right. Well, hey, let's meet Ethan Bragg of the Chemeketa Storm. Dave?
All right, thanks, Kirk. My pleasure to be with Ethan out of Jerome, Idaho. Found his way to Salem, and boy, we were just talking. But Chemeketa took the hard route to get here. I mean, you lose that first game on the road up in Mount Vernon at Skagit Valley and come back and win 3 straight. Just talk a little bit about what the mindset of your club was as you worked your way back through with the that consolation type or that loser out type bracket.
Yeah, I think we're really a resilient bunch. I mean, we had quite a few hits in that first game. I think we put up 14 hits and lost 10-2. But just day after day, we go out and kind of our mentality is win the next pitch. And we didn't win a lot of pitches that first day, but we came back and knew that we were going to have to fight for our lives the whole time. But we knew we had 2 of our better arms going in back-to-back days, and Chase and Chris. And they came out and did their job, and we found a way to get enough hits offensively to kind of pace the attack. And then our mentality was just get to that last day, and then that last day anything can happen. And luckily Hunter put a good swing on a good pitch, and here we are.
Looking on paper doesn't necessarily always tell the story, but looking at your club on paper, it looks like a lot of guys that kind of have the same game. Nobody's gone overboard on hits this year, but a lot of guys in the 30s and high 30s, guys with stolen bases, yourself with 18, kind of a steady bunch type thing, kind of anybody can do it.
Yeah, for sure. That's kind of the way we put it together. We got some team speed, but we feel like we can beat guys in a lot of different ways. I mean, we just try and string at-bats together. We know, we've been talking all year, that we're not a club that's going to launch the ball out of the yard. We got to go up and put at-bat after at-bat together and find a way on. Yeah, I mean, I think we're over 130 bases on the year, stolen-wise, so We've got a couple guys, I think 4 guys in the top 7 or something for the NWAC, so that's something we've kind of hung our hat on. But then at the regional, I think we had 1 stolen base and still found a way to get the job done. So just kind of resilient and making sure we find a way to get the job done every day.
It just sounds like, listening to you and reading a little bit about it, you just got a team of a bunch of guys that just like to play baseball, don't you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's kind of from day one of the fall, we knew the work we had to put in. We haven't been here in a couple years, and it was kind of, for us freshmen last year, a heartbreaker. We missed a regional by a game or 2, and just kind of fueled us through the offseason. And we came in with kind of the anticipation of having to lead the attack this year, and I think we've done that and had a lot of freshmen come in and step up for us.
All right, we'll see you right over there tomorrow. Ethan, have a great tournament.
Thanks, appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
All right, back to Kurt.
All right, Dave, thank you very much. You're watching the NWAC Baseball Championship Coaches pregame show. We're on the eve of the NWAC Championship Tournament at Story Field in Longview, and we want you to come. So the weather forecast is getting a little better, so make sure you get here. 4 games on Thursday, 4 on Friday, 3 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, and championship game Monday. And one guy that's certainly got a lot of experience on Championship Monday and in this tournament is the head coach of the Pierce Raiders out of the West Region, Kevin Davis, who's with us now. Kevin, there's your microphone. You got to get that. And first of all, yeah, there. Welcome back. Welcome back to Longview.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Well, talk a little bit about your team, man. I've seen you on a few occasions. Tough ball club. I know you got to be proud of them.
Yeah, this year it's we got a real sophomore-heavy group, so they were. They had a burning desire to get to this tournament after last year didn't go quite as planned. You know, we took 3rd in the division, missed the tournament for the first time in the last 4 years, or 5 years. So guys were hungry for it this year. Really good team. Defensively was probably our strong suit, and then pitching, strong pitching. But so we got some timely hitting that ended up putting us through. So.
Well, Kevin, there's one thing about your team. They don't quit, because I know you guys got off to a rough start in league play, that 4-game set against Lower Columbia. And to be honest with you, that easily could have been a 4-game sweep for you guys. I mean, those games went right down the wire and turned quickly. But, boy, did your guys get it together after that and just pretty much took it from there.
Yeah, you know, we had probably one of our best preseasons that we've had in the last 5 years. And we went in, we were 10-6 after with a really tough preseason schedule, and to open up with LC on the 4-game set and get swept, it was tough. But that's just the type of group that we have. We got a real tight-knit group, and so they were hungry. It didn't get any easier. We had Tacoma the next week that had a good ball club, and we ended up taking 3 or 4 from them, and kind of set it up. I think after we did that, we got back on, and we went, I think, 12-game streak to end the season. So. Yeah, the team is definitely playing well at the right time.
Yeah, for sure. So the regional went okay with you? You didn't lose anybody injury-wise or anything?
Nope. We've been fortunately we've been healthy this year. Last year was rough. We had quite a few injuries, so it made it tough going into the playoffs last year. So this year with the healthy team, it was fun.
Well, Strom's 8-0. I mean, a pretty impressive year he's got going. What are your pitching plans here in the early going of the tournament?
I think we're probably going to have tryouts tonight at some point in the parking lot over at the Red Lion Hotel, and then I don't know. We'll make a decision late. So
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So another guy who's keeping the cards close to the chest. That's good. That's all right. Obviously, you know Lower Columbia, and you've played some of the other teams. Try to handicap it from your perspective a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, just a great group of clubs out here this year. Tough. I mean, even the regional going through, CBC was easily a team that could be here that we faced up and played in the championship for the regional. So I think a lot of familiar faces, a lot of familiar teams that we play in the preseason. So it should be fun. All quality teams. I think it's just gonna who gets hot at the right time for the next few days, and so feeling good about it.
All right. Well, I see we got the beard back this year.
Well, we lost it after the LC series, so this is what we've got since then.
So we see how quickly that can come back in there. That's for sure. Well, Coach, talk about some of your players. Gunnar Schubert is a great player, and we're going to meet him in just a second. Talk about him and some of the other stars of the Raiders.
Yeah, Gunnar's just a kid. They don't come around too often, but it's just really fun to watch with the glove. It is, and I don't endorse that. I was an infielder in college. I thought I was pretty good. But watching this kid play the game, he's got a different set of skills with the hands. So it's been really, really, really enjoyable season for me to watch him and just watch him grow from last year. He was a good player last year. Yeah, I don't know if he was a complete player. This year, he's doing it with the stick. He's doing it with the glove. He's been a real, I guess, front man for our team over the past few series. Big game player. But besides him, our pitching staff, really quality. I think we had 3 out of the 4 first-team West Region pitchers on our staff. And that was Leif Strom, Colton Barnes, and Keenan Lum. And so 2 lefties and a 6'6" righty. So really good players. And then just going around Raven Kahana, we got a lot of players that just play their role. And I think that, they don't do too much. They don't have insane stats when you look at it, but they do the little things and they get the job done and it sets the table. But really playing well as a team right now. You got Andrew Barrera at second base, Matt Thompson behind the dish. He's going to LC State. Gunner's committed to Gonzaga. Just some good players on the team. So I don't know if I can single a few out, but it's just a good group overall.
Kevin wants to go down the whole roster right now. And
so
I think most of the coaches are like that because, you teach team play and then you have somebody ask you, well, hey, what about your star players? I know it's all about all the way to number 25, your bullpen catcher who doesn't get play, right?
Bullpen catcher's a dude.
Oh, yeah.
He is a guy.
Absolutely.
So
well, Kevin, thank you for spending some time with us. We really appreciate it. Welcome back to Longview. Look forward to seeing you. And, hey, at this time, let's meet Gunnar Schubert. Dave Andrews got him standing by.
All right, thanks, Kirk. And Gunnar, the sophomore out of Thomas Jefferson High School, Federal Way. You know a guy named Kenny Mayne? That was his alma mater. Yeah. There you go. All right. But, hey, Gunnar, again, it takes one quick look at your stat line. It talks, and I'll have you talk about your game, but 60 base hits. On top of that, 29 walks and 9 hit by pitches. You live on base. Just talk a little bit about your game.
Man, you gotta win. We win baseball games by getting base runners on there, And you ended up at the end of the day, you gotta do your job, like our coach said about individual roles. But you're out here having fun. So anytime you get to be on base and do your job and contribute, you gotta be happy.
So we talked a little bit about the fact that Pierce plays on an artificial infield, but it's different than here at Story Field. You've had experience playing here over 2 years. Just your comments on playing shortstop out here at Story Field.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, it's baseball. They hit the ball, you make the play. They throw the ball, you got to hit it. I think that our team does that very well, and that's a reflection of us getting here. So I'm excited, and I think our team is looking really good. We're more than thankful to be here, and at the end of the day, it's going to be a fun one.
You look at the regional, and of course Pierce has had some really outstanding, more recent history in the NWAC. You played a couple of teams that have been around with the history a little longer, Edmonds and Columbia Basin, ran through them. Tomorrow it's Mount Hood, another one of those teams that's been around for a while. Just your thoughts about facing off with the Saints tomorrow.
I mean, the teams that are here, they're no joke, right? They're here mean business, and you gotta tip your hat to them. They make plays, we make plays, but at the end of the day, I think whoever does the little things right can go the farthest. So I think Mount Hood starting off, that's gonna be a great challenge, and you just gotta play baseball, man. At the end of the day, you're here with your brothers, and you leave as one.
All right, Gunnar, and congratulations on the opportunity to go to Gonzaga, but I know you've got some business to do before that.
Yeah, it'd be nice to win one. Teams you got to look out for. I will be the first one to admit is I think Everett. It's a team that we've always been toe-to-toe with, and they've always came out on top, and that's a team that I have nothing but respect for. But in a tournament, anything can go. So that's all you got to do is just tip your cap and run hard.
All right, and thank you for that segue, because with Kirk Rowland, the head coach of the Everett Trojans, Levi Lacey. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate that. You're watching the NWAC Baseball Championship Coaches Preview Show on the eve of the NWAC Championship Tournament here in Longview. Now, Gunnar, there's a lot of players that are going to be going on to the Division I level, and for you fans that are not truly in step with NWAC baseball, this is really good college baseball, and there is a long list of players that not only end up getting drafted, but end up going to the Division I level. That's the type of players you're going to see at the tournament. Well, we've got Levi Lacey of the Everett Trojans with us, and this is a guy who's no stranger to Story Field and to Longview and being in this tournament. And Levi, you guys had quite a cluster up there in the north this year. As it turned out, a three-way tie, and I guess it all worked out for you guys to get that #1 seed. You got to be pretty happy you didn't have to go to those regionals.
Yeah, we had to make our way through the regional last year, and to be able to get those days off was key for us. We needed a little bit of rest, especially after pushing those games back to Monday, Tuesday. It would have been a rough turnaround to get to a field on Friday, because at that point, no matter what, had we not swept, we wouldn't have been in second. So if we didn't get the bye, we would have went to third or fourth and had to been on the road. So it was a pivotal sweep for us there at the end, and obviously the North has a good group of teams, and so we just battled every weekend, and fortunately got a little help down the road and took care of business ourselves and got a bye.
And there you go. Well, that's very good. Well, explain to our folks out there the type of ball club we're going to see with the Trojans this year.
We're just a well-balanced team, I think, in my opinion. I think we're a little more offensive than we have been in years past. We've primarily been a pitch and defensive team, and so it's been nice to not have to worry about 2-1 wins all the time and actually score some runs and let my pitchers take a breather for a year. So we're just well balanced. I think that we just have some strengths up and down, and maybe not the overwhelming 95 arm that we'd had in the past, but we just have some guys that know how to pitch and get outs, and the offense has really helped us throughout the year this year more than in the past. So.
Boy, a 307 batting average with Everett this year as a team. That's pretty good, and the Peterson kid right at the top of the list. He's pretty good, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a good player. Yeah, he just signed at University of Central Florida, and he's came a long way. He's already, he's had tools when he got here, but he's grown up a lot for us, and so he's got some good opportunities. We hope he gets a chance in the draft, in a couple weeks, and he's just turned out to be a really, really good player for us, and we've enjoyed having him, and he's got a lot of things left in his baseball career, so we look forward to watching him after he leaves Everett.
Who are some of the other guys we're going to get used to watching here this week?
Bryce Steckler, the MVP of the North, our center fielder, has had a tremendous year for us. Oregon State transfer, has done great. Andrew Ivelia, our middle infielder, leads the NWAC in doubles, has really turned himself into a next-level player, so he's really helped us a lot. And on the mound, we have our two sophomores in Alex Gray and Taylor Shea that have kind of led the charge and led a lot of our freshmen, lead them to how to pitch in this level. And he's our guys are well-rounded, but I think a couple of our top-end guys are our sophomores that we have. And Jacob Treter came in from Wazoo, who's helped us a lot in the middle infield. So.
All right. Well, you got TV in the first round, and you had a chance to hear from Coach Sutton. I guess everything's a tough draw in this one, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, no matter what, you're going to have to beat somebody, that's in the 8 to get to where you want to be if you want to win it. And so, obviously, Coach Sutton, I have a ton of respect for him and the relationship that we have. So we had a toe off here a couple years ago. I didn't see him last year, but we had to a few years ago. And so here we go again. And, I look forward to the battle. I know they'll be well prepared. And so we'll do our best.
All right. Well, I know you had a couple of your pitchers that were going to join us, but they had some practice here this afternoon. I know you needed to get some pen work and such, and so they're probably wandering around campus trying to figure out where they're at. But that was Taylor Shea and Alex Gray. Just at least talk about them a little bit if you can't meet them.
Well, Alex Gray's signed at Bradley University. He's 9-0 for us right now. Struggled a little bit early, but found a way to get wins. He's a very good leader, and he's just got some good pitchability. He's a great young man, very good in class, and he's done a tremendous job for us. He's won 17 games for us in the last 2 seasons, so he's been a catalyst. And Taylor Shea was injured for us early, and so he's been back the last 7 weeks, and he's 6-0 right now, and just a great character kid that has really earned what he's got. He's not overly physical, but just he's a plus pitcher, has a good mindset, and we rely a lot on those two giving us some good outings early in the series.
All right. Well, Levi, sure appreciate your time, and welcome back to Longview, and look forward to seeing your ball club.
Thank you much. I appreciate it.
Betcha. That's Levi Lacey, the head coach of the Everett Trojans. And I think next up on our coach is Coach Eddie Smith. So if we could have Coach Smith come on forward. Dave, you got left off on that one. The players didn't make it here. Well, we've got a good one that's going to come with you here in just a sec. So we'll have Coach Smith step on up. Eddie Smith of the Lower Columbia Red Devils with us now here on the NWAC Championship pregame show. And Eddie, it's always a fun time to come in this tournament, be playing in it, and to be the defending champs. This is going to be fun. And I know you're proud of your guys for getting back here with a lot of new faces in the lineup.
Well, it's certainly a new team, and anytime you're at the junior college level, you're talking about a bunch of new players every single year. But there's plenty of sophomore leadership in this group that's come a long ways, and they've shown the way for some of these freshmen, and they found a way to come together and finish atop the West region again this year. So it was an exciting group.
Yeah, for sure. And well, talk about your players a little bit. I know Garrett Myers, we're going to meet him in just a little bit, and he's awfully great kid, had a great year this year. Run down some of the Red Devils that are we're going to be hearing a lot from.
Well, I think you mentioned that sophomore leadership, and Garrett Myers is the first one who comes to mind. He's done a great job for us, hitting in the middle of our lineup all year long and playing great right field. Cade Crisco is kind of the keystone of this team, where he's our number one pitcher as well as our four hitter. And then Lauren Archibald, who has been first team All NWAC as a freshman, and then was first team All West Region this year. He hits right in the heart of our lineup, and when he goes, we go offensively.
Yeah, a lot of guys. Pitching plans? You ready to tip off on that? Or?
Yeah, I don't think it's much of a secret that Cade Crisco is going to be starting for us tomorrow night. And, anytime he's on the mound, we're really excited about having him up there.
Boy, Bellevue, that's tough first round. But again, I think they all are, aren't they?
This time of year, you're just playing to be the best you can possibly be. And, I think the team that sticks to who they are the best is the team that ends up on top.
Well, Eddie, when you took this job a few years ago, you knew that there was a contract locked into hosting this tournament, and you knew there's a lot that goes in. Try to share with some of our viewers, it's not just about coaching baseball and going out there. There's so many other things that you guys have to do to get the field ready. Isn't it?
Well, it's awesome, because tomorrow night it'll likely be a standing room only type of a crowd, and to be able to have that in this community is just it's a one-of-a-kind sort of an experience at the junior college level. But there is a lot of work that goes into it. I look at all the work that our athletic department has done as far as getting the field and the stadium area ready to go. I see 3 camera standards out there already. It looks like a big league ballpark right now with a center field camera and everything, which is awesome. And, our players do a lot of work as well. I think we spent about 2 hours on the field doing a huge cleanup on Monday, just getting it ready to go. And hopefully it'll be sparkling and playing at a high level on the entire weekend.
Well, I know you don't want to test the tarping ability of your team. You'd just as soon have that tarp sit over there and gather dust. But what's the early line on the tarp times this year for the Red Devils?
This is an interesting crew. We've maybe had to pull the tarp this year more than any other year. So this team might be prepared to set a new record.
All right. 1 minute and 12 seconds, by the way, from first roll to complete cover. And that's going to be a tough one to beat a couple of years ago. But Eddie, I guess you got the target on your back this time around after you won it last year.
I think that that's something that maybe the media and sports writers
the massive
talk about,
media
but,
covering the NWAC.
For us, it's something where we're chasing something. Over half our team is new, and we're not defending anything. We're going to go out and try to chase another championship.
All right, and just handicapping it. I know you respect all these teams, and every one of these teams can beat you, but do you have a favorite?
It's playoff baseball. Whoever plays the best team baseball is going to be the team that wins it.
Yeah, 9 innings, that's for sure. All right. Well, Coach, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for all your effort of putting this together. You and your players have done a great job. They're to be commended for it. And, hey, good luck this week.
Thank you very much.
All right. That's Eddie Smith, the head coach of the LCC Red Devils, and one of his top players, Garrett Myers, is with Dave Andrew.
All right. Thanks, Kirk. Yes, with Garrett Myers, Clackamas High School, Happy Valley, Oregon. And Garrett leading this team with 60 hits, 12 doubles, playing right field. But I want to look backward first, and Kirk alluded to it with Coach Smith. The Red Devils won a championship last year. There are a lot of new people, but talk about as a reserve last year on that team with some really good sophomores, what you learned sitting back watching those guys last year.
We do have a lot of really new guys this year, and I think we've had to really reinvent ourselves as a team this year, and that's just a whole new dynamic and a whole new team. And I think we've done a great job of coming out and becoming a new team and not trying to play to the skills and the players that we had last year. And in junior college, you have to really turn that over quick, being only here for 2 years. And as a reserve player, I really learned a lot from some of the sophomores last year, just how to grind out wins. It's a long season. You get a lot of at-bats in junior college, and it's great, but sometimes you got to grind out tough wins.
Tell us a little bit about your game. I talked about leading the team with 60 hits, 12 doubles. Tell our viewers a little bit about Garrett Meyer's baseball game.
I really just try to see good pitches, and when you see good pitches and hit the ball hard, good things tend to happen. So it's as easy as that sometimes, but this game can be grueling, and like I said, you got to have tough at-bats and find a way to win tough wins.
Coach Smith talked about the guy on the hill tomorrow, your sophomore teammate, Cade Crisco. As a team, it has to feel good knowing you've got a sophomore guy who was in the same position 1 year ago, that Thursday starter in the championship.
Cade's got it, and he knows how to win, and he's excited to be on the mound, and I'm excited to play right field behind him. I get to catch a lot of balls over there for him, and I can't wait for the game.
All right, Garrett, of course, you're a week away from getting back to that golf game. Tell us about that golf game. I've seen you at the course before.
I can't hit a driver, but that's about it. I can putt, but I can't hit a driver.
All right, hey, drive for show, putt for dough. Just remember that. So, hey, the Red Devils tomorrow night, Garrett, will open up with Bellevue, and Kirk Rollins with their head coach, Mark Yoshino. Kirk?
All right, Dave, thank you very much. We have the skipper of the Bellevue Bulldogs, Mark Yoshino, with us. And Mark just did get here. How's that beautiful traffic, 4:05 to 5?
3.5 hours for a normal 2-hour drive, so gotta love Seattle.
Yeah, no problem. All right, well, Yosh, welcome back. I know, multiple appearances here in this tournament, championships, and what's it like to gather your guys every year and make this trip?
Hey, we're just glad to be here this year. So this is the first time we're going to play Lower Columbia since 2013, I want to say. So, geez, maybe I forgot to take my shoes off at the front door because I haven't been invited back since then. So, but we're just kind of glad to be here and enjoy the atmosphere.
All right, well, that's great. The three-way tie up there, you guys couldn't get it settled at the end there. I guess that shows the depth of the North this year, right?
Yeah, I think it was pretty deep all across the NWAC. If you look at who won the Super Regionals, not all the 2 seeds won. But to be quite frank, looking at the scores, it was pretty even all the way across. And when we put this playoff procedure together, some question whether the NWAC was deep enough to really have 4 quality teams. And I think if you looked at the playoff structure this year, it definitely showed that teams 1 through 4 in all the regions were pretty competitive, and I think the super regional results showed that.
Well, Coach, solid team ERA 2.82. Just talk a little bit about your pitching staff and what we're going to see from the Bulldogs.
We're just now getting healthy. We had a couple guys out with injuries, Zach Usselman, a right-hander, and Joe Wainhouse, who does both hit and pitch, and both of them were out for over a month. They're just starting to get back right now. Our left-handers, Dominic DeMiro and Cody Anderson, have been the anchors of our staff this year. Unfortunately, because of high pitch counts from the Super Regional we played, because we finished our regional a day later than everyone else, neither of them will be able to go to full capacity tomorrow. So we're going to kind of have to ad-lib tomorrow and go with one of the right-handers instead, because neither of the lefties are ready to go. So unfortunate, but just kind of the way it's going to happen. But I think it'll work out in the long run.
Talk about some of your offensive stars, the guys we're going to be hearing a lot about.
Sophomore oriented this year. I'm real glad to be here just because the Sophs went through some tough times last year not making it. And we have a little bit of speed, a little bit of power. We try to sprinkle it all the way through the lineup so that we really don't have any weak holes in the lineup. Of course, that depends on how good the opposing pitcher is for the other team, but that's kind of how we try to rig the lineup and see what happens tomorrow.
All right. Well, Mark, you're on the NWAC baseball committee, one of the leaders there, and I know there's going to be some discussion in the meeting tonight regarding wood versus bat. I don't know if you saw the Daily News article this morning. That was a
I did not see Rick's blurb, if he was the one who...
Rick McCorkle, yes. He had a pretty huge article regarding going back to the metal bats from the wood, which is the NWAC. Is it going to be pretty interesting discussion and split, do you think?
From the people that I've talked to, it's kind of split down the middle. myself personally, a little bit of ego just because I was part of the group that brought in the wood. I think it's one of the few things the NWAC can hold their hat proud of, since we were kind of one of the initiators of using wood bat. I know a lot of four-year schools would like to use wood, but unfortunately because of money contracts with bat companies, they're not able to. But if we go back to metal, I can live with it. Won't be the end of the world, but I think we've got a good thing going right now.
Well, invariably, it's going to come down to the commissioners and a vote there, but certainly some good discussion, that's for sure. And hey, it's great to see you again. It wasn't the same without you, and it's great to have you back and the Bulldogs here. And hopefully you guys let Grady Twait off the hook up there at Skagit this year. Actually let him win a few games up there, the new head coach. You treated him okay, right?
Yeah, he did a great job. He came in late and pretty much played right with us and Everett and Edmonds and everyone else in the league. And again, this just kind of shows after the regional thing how close all the teams were.
Absolutely.
It's just, but we were on the other end last year. You know, we had coaches asking, how come you guys aren't in it with your record? But it's just kind of the way it goes.
Yep, well, I know a lot of folks are, although there's always some bugs with, like you say, having to back your pitching up a little bit, but opportunities. And we've got the final 8 here, and the Bellevue Bulldogs are one of it. Mark, appreciate your time.
Great. Enjoyed it.
All
Enjoyed
right.
being here.
All right, and I'm going to send it on over to Dave Andrew here. Dave's got just a few comments about this tournament, maybe whatever's on your mind about some of the matchups tomorrow. Let's take it on over to Dave.
All right, Kirk. Well, this is, if you count them up, the 12th consecutive season of the NWAC Baseball Championship being held in Longview. It's been held here more than 12 times overall, but 12 straight now going back to 2005, and some great memories, and some of the coaches that Kirk's talked to tonight have been here multiple times. Always fun to get out on Story Field for another season and look for good weather and good crowds and have a lot of fun. I guess my comment would be this year, on paper, and I've used that a couple times today, on paper, I don't see a clear favorite. Sometimes you have somebody will come in with that 42-6 record or 39-9 and a couple teams like that. This year, the wins are spread out a little better, and I think it's wide open. And so I'm sure that maybe our next guest will talk a little bit with Kirk about that, but should be a great tournament. And anybody who's trying to make a decision about what to do this weekend, get to Longview. Great baseball at Story Field, great setting. It's always a lot of fun. And with that, Marco Zurdia, the Executive Director of the NWAC with Kirk, I'll throw it back your way.
All right, Dave. Thank you very much. We got the boss with us right now, and apologies that we weren't able to bring Brian Donahue, the head coach of the Mount Hood Saints here. He's been stuck in the Oregon traffic, so it's not just the Seattle area that has to deal with that as well. But we'll have a fun time getting to see Brian and his club, the Mount Hood Saints, and certainly out of the South. They are the South champs, a very good team, and we saw them last year in the championship game. Getting it to a second championship, and we anticipate the Mount Hood Saints are going to be very formidable in this tournament as well. But we've got Marco with us, and first of all, Marco, I know it's been very busy for your office. The softball championship's completed, the track and field just recently done, and I guess this is kind of, as far as competition goes, the grand finale of the year, isn't it?
Yeah, this is it for us in terms of competition, and it's been great to watch our student athletes in softball, track and field, and now looking forward to the baseball championships, really compete at a high level and raise their game. And I think them raising their game obviously raises the NWAC.
All right, so what are you hearing in the baseball wars? We touched on it a little bit, metal versus wood. Anything else that's on the minds?
There's all kinds of things that are always on the mind, and so I'm sure we'll discuss those tonight. But I think the big one is really the wood versus metal. Regarding the bat, so we'll take a listen to what people have to say, and I think be very thoughtful in terms of getting direction from the baseball committee to make that recommendation to their athletic directors and athletic commissioners, and then go forward.
Well, you got a hard-working staff that works for you. Garrett Studer, I know he's been putting a lot of things together. Has he got some good swag for the fans this year that'll be coming to Longview?
Yeah, you know, Garrett's done a great job for us. We hired him in September, and it's just really added a high-quality dimension to what we want to do. And that really is our goal, is to try to provide a quality atmosphere for our student athletes. And so we're looking for some quality things this week with baseball, and I'm sure the fans, when they come out, are going to appreciate the level of competition and the environment that we're trying to create for the fans and the players.
All right. Well, Tracy Swisher, the SID, Jim Jackson will be there, Carol Harden, Spencer Rowland, the whole crew will be on hand here this weekend in Longview. And welcome to Longview, Marco. I appreciate you being part of our program.
I appreciate you guys doing this, and appreciate what Lower Columbia does for NWAC baseball.
All right, thank you very much. Well, this is going to conclude our show here. I'd like to thank the crew from Topher Vision, and they will be bringing you the live television coverage of all the games in the NWAC. We are talking high-quality HD replays, and it's going to be awfully fun. Play-by-play, so every game. We want to see you come out to the ball yard, Story Field, but hey, if you're back home and you can't be here, you're going to really enjoy our telecast here over the next few days. So for all the coaches and for Dave Andrew, I'd like to thank everybody for being a part of the NWAC Coaches Championship pregame show. I'm Kirk Rowland. Let's play ball. Have a great time, everybody. We'll see you.